Welcome to Game Night in the Region on the Region Sports Network, streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, regionsports.com, and the IHSAA Champions Network. We come to you tonight from the John A. Barado Center in East Chicago as the Region Sports Network features the Bowman Academy Eagles against the East Chicago Central Cardinals. I'm Andrew Mild. I'll have the play-by-play for tonight's broadcast, and joining me with the color analysis is Mike DeWan. Good evening, Mike.
Andrew, you already know what time it is, man. That the weather is cold. Football season ends today, so you know what that means. It is officially basketball time here on the Region Sports Network. And what is there a better place in the region? I could argue probably not to call a basketball game than the Barado Center. East Chicago Central Cardinals, a loaded team. Bowman, a very young team, what we're seeing, and just an exciting game. Excited to be back here, Andrew.
Yeah, trading in the gridiron for some hardwood here on this Saturday evening. And you're right, Mike. This is a place you want to be on a Saturday night to open up the season. The East Chicago Central Cardinals have created a buzz the last couple of years. A few seasons ago in November, they fired their head coach and moved to a 23-year-old named Ala Maruri. What he has done is brought back East Chicago Cardinals basketball to this area. This is a packed crowd. We were surprised on this Saturday evening, 2 days after Thanksgiving, that this place has so many fans. But they're coming off their first sectional championship win in 7 years. Their goal is to win a regional title for the first time since 2007. And Mike, they're led by Dominique Murphy, one of the best scorers that this program has seen since a certain E'Twan Moore was here.
I mean, it's great company to be in to start with. Again, the evolution of this program over the course of the past few seasons. Again, this is one of those communities, you kind of alluded to it, that if the team is doing very well in the hardwood, the state of Northwest Indiana basketball, and I'd say just basketball in the entirety of the state, is in a positive place. And I mean, hey, your first full season as a head coach, 22-5, you make your way to regionals. They did lose to Mishawaka, their first playoff win in a couple years. You mentioned their first sectional title in a couple seasons. 23 wins, most wins in a season since that state championship in the 07 season. Obviously, a great company to be in. Obviously, Coach Marui doing a fantastic thing with these guys, and I'll tell you what, I mean, they got a loaded roster coming around again, moving down to the 3A level. Also, again, not due to enrollment now. Again, some schools are getting smaller here in the area, and East Chicago, they moved down in the class size. That's going to benefit them. We'll talk about that later in the broadcast. But Bowman, always a tough test, a tough early season test for this East Chicago squad.
The Bowman Academy Eagles going into a new era led by a state championship winning coach in John Boy, who helped the Gary Westside Panthers win their state title back in the early 2000s. The clock is running down as both teams are returning to their benches, and we are getting set for the national anthem. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with some high school basketball action here on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
When life keeps you busy and you can't get to the store, shop online with Strachan Van Til To Go. Our to-go service is easy to use. Register using your rewards account information, fill your virtual cart, and choose delivery or pickup. Once your order is in, our own Strachan Van Til team preps your order with care. With our to-go service, you can earn reward points and save time and money with our online coupons and weekly ad prices. Life made simple, shopping made easy. For more information or to sign up, visit shop.strachanvantil.com.
Hi, I'm Crowd Company's Lantern Man. For years, I've helped your family and friends save on their car insurance. And now I've returned to rescue you from high prices. Whether you have a perfect driving record or a not-so-perfect record. Follow me to the Crowell Agency for immediate and affordable coverage. I'm your insurance superhero. Crowd Company's insurance professionals. Highland, Merrillville, and Michigan City.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
Some see a wrestling match. We see a 6-minute lesson in grit. Some see a coach sending a runner home. We see a mentor guiding a student athlete into the future. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
We are back here in East Chicago as they're going through the starting lineups of the Theo Bowman Eagles and the East Chicago Central Cardinals. And we'll run through those starting lineups right here. Julian Allen, Krishan Harris, Melnard Bond, Jeray Walker, and Contavious Fly are going to be starting for the Eagles. And for the East Chicago Central Cardinals, some usual suspects, but a new name and someone that came from Theo Bowman a year ago was Jamari Pollard. Then you have Yamarari Wallace, Keontae Bell, Joseph Watkins, and Dominique Murphy. And Mike, for this East Chicago Central Cardinals, they had to replace a big name in Jamil Rich Jr., a transfer that they got a year ago and who stepped up tremendously as a guard. Now they're replacing him with Jamari Pollard, and you got to think for him this is a big game to really prove himself against his former team.
Definitely this one is a little bit more personal, as we kind of see here, a little bit more the transfer market here in all of Northwest Indiana sports. Yeah, you talk about those losses, and we'll talk about Bowman a little bit as well. Of course, they're going to witness one of their losses from last year's squad, but East Chicago, and you graduate Jamil Rich, second in points, first in assists in 2023. London Walker was their top shooter in percentage and three-pointers made, and Marquise Winters as well, a big wing of theirs that was very productive. Obviously, bringing back Dom Murphy is a big plus for this Cardinal program, but a lot of talent to replace from last year's squad.
Dom Murphy has scored over 1,369 points in his career and had almost 21 points a season ago. And for this Theo Bowman team, it's going to be a big challenge. They lost their top four leading scorers from a season ago in Nick Black and Pollard. But when it comes to opportunity, you might see a star rise tonight for the Eagles, again being led by head coach John Boyd, who's trying to bring this Theo Bowman program back to the forefront after they finished 10-13 a season ago, led by Tyrone Robinson.
Yes, the Eagles' former head coach did some great things with the program, 2 sectional titles, but they bring in a winner in John Boyd, again, a longtime guy around the region. Obviously, you mentioned his time at Westside, winning them a championship there. Michigan City's where he coached at as well, and a proven winner, 273 wins under his belt now going into his 21st season as a head basketball coach. Again, they lose a decent amount of talent. We're going to have to find some people to step up here, and this is a big first-game test for both Coach Boyd and those Bowman Eagles.
Well, I guess we're now doing the national anthem, so we'll be right back here on the Region Sports Network. I guess they say better late than never.
Hey, first game jitters for a couple.
First game jitters,
you know, a little bit of technical difficulties, but glad we got the anthem in, and that means it's time for hoops, Andrew Mild. Let's do this.
Well, the Economy Electric Heating and Cooling night forecast is 22 degrees. It feels like 12 degrees.
Oof.
So we're happy to be inside and no longer out on the gridiron. That's the game night forecast brought to you by Economic Electric Heating and Cooling, keeping you cool in the summer and cozy in the winter. Players have taken the floor. The basketball is headed towards center court, and we are ready for some basketball here on the Region Sports Network. Happy that you're joining us. Hopefully you had yourselves a very happy Thanksgiving. Last day of November, first day of basketball here in the region. East Chicago is going to start off with the basketball and hand it off to Puller immediately to Keontae Bell, a 5'9 senior who averaged 6.6 points last season. And the Eagles are implementing a 3-2 zone. So it's going to rely on East Chicago Central to move the ball around. But the good news is for them in high school basketball in Indiana, there is no shot clock. So you can take as much time as you want. And that was an errant pass. Luckily, East Chicago was able to recover. And Murphy is going to travel.
And again, for East Chicago, you got to slow down here to break the zone. I think, again, Bowman's going to try and speed them up. East Chicago got no shot clock. You got to slow the game down, make a couple passes, try and find the open shooter. But Bowman, obviously, again, a lot of energy so far to try and steal a couple points on these early parts of the game.
Yeah, this is a younger group, a lot of freshmen, and Julian Allen's the oldest as a junior captain of this team that is having to rebuild under a new head coach and a new roster. Again, they went 10-13 a year ago, not too bad. They're attacking the lane. Here comes a pull-up jumper, and a little bit off. Ball is tipped, rebounded, and the Eagles are going to toss it in. First 2 points of the game goes to Bond. He's able to vacuum in that basketball and toss it in. So it's 2-0. East Chicago Central had themselves a great season a season ago, even having a 16-game winning streak en route to a sectional championship. Man open, 3-ball on its way, and good.
There you go, good shot fakes all around and just finding the open man. You got to make the extra pass in the zone because you're going to get a lot of eyeballs on you when you move the basketball around and you just find the open shooter there. Be patient, I think, is the key here for East Chicago and their squad.
There's a shot made by Theo Bowman. That three for East Chicago was by Javon Wofford. Left-handed shooter. So right now it is 4-3. Theo Bowman up to the lead. And that's the nice part for East Chicago is that they've been much better at shooting the three ball since Alan Maruli became the head coach. There's a three-ball attempt by Murphy, and it won't go down. So Murphy opening up the season with a missed field goal after turning it over. Here's a three-ball in transition. That's left a little short. And another offensive rebound by Theo Bowman, able to clear it up after the ball was tipped away, and good defense by Murphy. He can score, but also play some really good defense. Had a good amount of blocks a season ago. Murphy dribbles himself into a double team, kicks it back out, and they will reset as Wallace sends it up to the EC logo. Murphy goes into the lane. Nice ball fake. Here comes a triple team. Man open, and that was Bell. He didn't want to take the three. Didn't attempt too many a season ago. They're moving the ball around. Here comes the shot from Wofford, and it was halfway down before it kicked itself back out.
Yeah, I like here from Coach Boyd. Slow the game down. This has definitely been kind of a game of tempo so far, and we've seen kind of a couple rush possessions from both sides. And I think already now with 5 minutes to go here in this first frame, just slow down. Got a lot of game left. Try and get a good shot here.
Walker with the ball goes behind the back, loses his dribble, and they send it off to Bond. Theo Bowman and East Chicago opened up the season last year against one another, and East Chicago was able to secure the win. That's some big performances from some of their stars, but going right down the lane is Theo Bowman as that goes down for Walker, and Coach Maruri not happy with the defensive effort there. He will take the first timeout of the game, and we will take a quick timeout with them as you're watching Game Night in the Region on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
When life keeps you busy and you can't get to the store, shop online with Strachan Van Til To Go. Our to-go service is easy to use. Register using your rewards account information, fill your virtual cart, and choose delivery or pickup. Once your order is in, our own Strachan Van Til team preps your order with care. With our to-go service, you can earn reward points and save time and money with our online coupons and weekly ad prices. Life made simple, shopping made easy. For more information or to sign up, visit shop.strachanvantil.com.
East Chicago taking their first timeout of the year as you're watching the Region Sports Network, the only game in town. 6-3, Theo Bowman leading with 4:40 to go in the first quarter. Angel Mild with Mike DeWan on this chilly Saturday. Good crowd on hand on both sides as everyone's showing out in droves to watch some Hoosier basketball. East Chicago Central won sectional a year ago, trying to build off of that. East Chicago taking their time here. Bell going down the lane, tosses the wall, a wild shot, and it goes down as he gets fouled. A circus shot. And coming out of the timeout, that's what the Cardinals were looking for.
Impressive take by Bell. 27 games played last year, 6.6 points per game. Obviously, going to have that elevated role this year. There's a little bit more opening at that guard position. You got to facilitate. If Dom Murphy, if they're keying in on him, they got to have a kind of a Batman to the Robin. Basically, you have to have those sidekicks to Dominique Murphy, and a good start there from Bell.
The free throw was left short. Murphy was batting for the rebound, goes out of bounds on East Chicago. And you're right. Last year it was Jameel Rich Jr., who's now at Sunrise Christian Academy, a post-grad program. But someone else has to step up this year for the East Chicago Central Cardinals on offense, as here's a steal, but it goes out of bounds.
Looks like EC right away off that timeout. Now they want to try and speed up Bowman a little bit more. Now putting more of a full court press on here. Trying to again get those first game jitters out. A lot of people are excited here, as we are, of course, but it's EC trying to speed up Bowman now.
And Coach Marui, his third year, second full year as head coach of East Chicago, was not very happy early on in the game. Has really ignited his team as East Chicago tried to strip the ball away there, and no dice, and that's a bad pass going out of bounds. And again, this is a young team that really hasn't played together. You can see the miscommunication there that leads to the turnover.
And just a new roster, a lot of new faces, a lot of new names compared to last year. And again, no seniors on the squad. Those juniors, Julian Allen, Darian Harris, the two juniors on the squad, they got to step up and lead. Obviously, and then a new coach on your sideline as well. It's a lot of unfamiliarity.
Murphy was down low. He likes to score at all three levels, but he had a one-on-one against Jeray Walker, who was called for the foul previously, so that's two on him. And you got to wonder if Coach Boyd might be bringing out one of his starters with 3:41 to go here in the first quarter. Murphy going to the line. 72% free throw shooter a season ago. Had 151 attempts and made 108. So he's crafty, and he knows how to have a good ball fake. We saw him now a few times already.
Yeah, he's impressive. We talked about it last year. I really think his game is kind of similar to DeMar DeRozan. Just somebody who gets to his spot and not afraid to utilize the pump fake. Gets his defenders up in the air, can sometimes jump into them to draw fouls, and obviously he's very effective at the free throw line.
Well, he knocked down both of them, and the Cardinals have the lead back. Going down the lane is Theo Bowman, and he gets knocked away off the leg of Quantavious Fly. And again, good defense by Dominique Murphy. He does a little bit of everything for this team.
Yeah, I mean, he's their big man, too. I mean, as much as he is kind of the number one guy offensively, he is the tallest guy out there in this starting lineup today.
We'll talk about DeMar DeRozan. There's a mid-range maestro. Cash money from Dominique Murphy, a three-star recruit and one of the best recruits in the state. He's ranked 13th behind some big names.
It's a lost start, ladies and gentlemen. You don't see the pull-up mid-range as that much anymore, but if you're effective and if you could make it, take it.
That ball gets tipped away, and Theo Bowman has a steal as Murphy was looking for the touchdown pass. Spin, toss up left hand, looked like it might have gotten tipped. And there's a battle for the ball, and it goes out of bounds as Keontae Bell was trying to get the ball away, and Theo Bowman will set up down low. You can tell it's early. A lot of jitters right now. It's
Definitely.
a sloppy basketball. The good news is plenty games to go after tonight. And still have 3 quarters to go here. 2:49 in the first quarter, 9-6 Cardinals. And Coach Boyd is going to take his first timeout. And we'll take a quick break as you're watching the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Hi, I'm Crowd Company's Lantern Man. For years, I've helped your family and friends save on their car insurance. And now I've returned to rescue you from high prices. Whether you have a perfect driving record or a not-so-perfect record. Follow me to the Crowd Agency for immediate and affordable coverage. I'm your insurance superhero. Crowd Company's insurance professionals. Highland, Merrillville, and Michigan City.
Back from the 32nd timeout, taken by Coach John Boyd, his first year with the Eagles, but a long tenure coach in the region. Inbound play, and it at least draws a foul. It was a quick pass in and tried to meet him up at the rim, but Theo Bowman's going to get to go to the charity stripe for 2.
Yeah, now we're kind of in these later parts of the first frame. It's now we're getting back in flow state. Obviously, that first game of the season is fun. You get to play against somebody else of an opposing team, and now I think at this point in time in the quarter, now we can start to see a little bit more organization. I think offensively and defensively, and just not any rushed possessions that you may, again, those jitters should hopefully go away until maybe playoff time.
Some of these players getting their first varsity time here on this Saturday night. It what an atmosphere to be a part of as Bond misses both of his free throws. So sigh of relief for the Cardinals, trying to build up on a 3-point lead. Transition three coming up, and that's good. Pollard, his first shot in a Cardinals uniform, cashes in, and he has some words for the Theo Bowman bench, the bench that he once sat on just a season ago.
Yeah, I bet that's one that he is excited for, especially this game is kind of personal in this way, and obviously he wants to make a statement in his new role here as a Cardinal.
Well, Coach Maruri, that's what he's done differently, the new brand of basketball. Once again, out transition, take those threes, ball tipped down of bounds, and Bell, he's a feisty one, got over there for some help, got the trap by the baseline, and it's going to lead to the Eagles have to inbound it from down low.
Yeah, Keontae Bell and Yamari Wallace as well, two seniors now joining Don Murphy in the starting lineup. Those are kind of the guys we talked about. They lost a decent amount of talent, but guys that need to step up in the leadership role, and they got a great start so far here in this first frame.
Tough miss there from Quintavious Fly. He had an open rim, tried to go up with the left hand, his offhand, it was no good. Here comes a three from Bell, and it's left short. He was unattended, and the Eagles going to have to work that one out. There's going to be way too many good players down the stretch. They're going to make those open threes. We're under 2 minutes to go. 12-6 Cardinals. Been a long time since we've seen the Eagles make a field goal, and there is a foul. They called on Waffer, his first foul and the team's second.
Yeah, East Chicago, we talked about again, they're not afraid to shoot the three ball. They have some shooters, and they're definitely capable of doing so, but they hang their hat on kind of shooting the three ball there, an ability to make it. Obviously, it's a growing game of basketball as we see just in this decade of how influential the three ball is nowadays, and it's trickling its way down to the high school level.
The three ball being influential, or Steph Curry?
We could say that.
Really changed the game. You kind of see it all across the levels. It starts in the professional ranks, moves down to college, and finally to high school. And we saw some teams that made some deep runs last year, especially like East Chicago that won a sectional championship. There's an offensive foul. Taking one to the chest was Wallace. Described him as a stat stuffer type player. Coach Maruri looking for a lot from Yamari Wallace. With a couple of double-doubles last year, averaged 11.8 points, 6.8 rebounds. But he also describes him as a Swiss Army knife, a player you can turn to get the job done on certain aspects of the game. They're facing a team that has a good couple of rebounders. He's the one that can clean up the boards. Guy that's a lethal scorer. He can defend them very well. And as you talked about, you need to fill in that role.
Sure.
As Murphy is the scorer, but you need someone that can do a little bit of everything.
Yeah, it's hard to believe Wallace, listed at 6'6" on the roster, but position-wise.
Here comes Murphy down the lane. He gets hit.
He goes to the rim tough, man. But Wallace, again, 6'6". He's listed as a guard/wing at a 6'6" frame at the high school level. You're kind of flirting with the 4 or 5 range, but Wallace obviously just kind of that do-it-all guy, as you mentioned. We saw on that previous possession. He guards up top. He tries to take, as soon as you cross the half-court line, he's in your face, and obviously drew a charge on that end, and we know how effective he is on the offensive end as well.
He had 12 points and 11 rebounds with 3 assists, 3 steals, and 1 block in East Chicago's win against Theo Bowman a season ago, the season opener. Certainly an interesting season for East Chicago a year ago. We talked about how good they were and how their record looked, but early on it didn't look very good. They lost a couple of games. They were 2-3. They went on a 16-game winning streak, won 20 of their last 21. And that's not including their season-ending loss to Mishawaka. Murphy's going to pull one from downtown, and it goes around the world and pops its way back out. But the press still being implemented by the Cardinals. Under a minute to go. 13-6 ball is on the ground, and it's recovered by the Eagles, pushing it down the floor. And they tried to throw it down, but the ball hits off the back rim. East Chicago's got numbers as there's still a man down. An alley-oop, and it works out. Dominique Murphy soaring through the air to toss that one in. A beautiful pass, and the Cardinals have a 9-point lead And the Eagles might hold it for one last shot to close out this first quarter.
I would say you should here.
Oh, no, they're long three, and it's not even close to the rim.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that, Chad. I think you got to with how this momentum has shifted in East Chicago's favor.
Bell,
I'd like one for the last shot.
Faked it, may have gotten hit as he tried to sell it, but nothing there. Here comes the layup, and that is good. Nice layup there from Fly. But the Cardinals going to toss it up from near half court, and it is off the left rim. An exciting first quarter of play to open up this game here in East Chicago, as it's the Cardinals 15 and the Eagles 8. You're watching Game Night in the Region on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
With electrical services from Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, you can radiate the perfect amount of light and energy into your home. From rewiring and code upgrades to ceiling fans, lighting, security, and more, Economy Electric Heating and Cooling's trained electricians will make sure you can enjoy your home on full power all the time. For a free estimate on electrical work, call Economy Electric Heating and Cooling at 219-923-4441, and you can visit them on the web at 4ajobdoneright.com. That's the number 4ajobdoneright.com.
You're watching Game Night in the Region on the internet at facebook.com/Region Sports, Instagram at Region Sports Network, youtube.com/Region Sports, and regionsports.com. Andrew Mile with Mike DeWan. The clock has been reset to 8 minutes for the second period of play here at the Barado Center in East Chicago. An impressive first quarter there, Mike, by East Chicago as they were getting out in transition, and that's the thing about this team. They have a lot of athletes, but they also make some really good decisions when they're in open floor. Make that nice extra pass and get some open shots.
Yeah, East Chicago, I think, after that first kind of early burnt timeout from Coach Maruri, kind of set them up in that full court press that really gave trouble to this Bowman offense that was doing some things pretty well in the early stages of the first quarter. I think the key here, again, slow it down, get the right shot here.
There's a zone implemented by East Chicago, and they're going to watch Leonard Bond hit a three. He was wide open, and that's a good way to start the second quarter if you're Coach Bond and the Eagles after a long run by East Chicago. They get to Murphy in the mid-range just outside the paint, going down the baseline and stepping out of bounds is Yamari Wallace. Try to attack there.
Good start here for Bowman, a score and a stop, and trying to keep that trend up here now. Obviously, that last offensive possession, one of their better ones, I'd say, of the game. An entry pass, kicked it out for three. Made them pay.
Got it down low. Shot was too strong. A battle for the rebound, and it's won by East Chicago. Here comes Pollard. Pollard going to go up with it, and that's blocked. Oh, my goodness. How do you like me now? Bond flying through the air. A steal. Pollard gets it down low, and getting fouled is Wallace. What a hustle play there by Pollard to get blocked off the glass, to come out of nowhere like Alvarado from the Pelicans, taking the ball away, and it's going to lead to Wallace setting up at the free throw line.
That was a heck of a block there, but impressive work from Pollard to get back, get the steal there, set up two free throws here for Wallace. No shortage of defensive plays here in this second quarter. And obviously the Stars are coming to shine. Obviously now that we're kind of a quarter in the season, we're ready to go. Those jitters are long gone. Hopefully, we're ready to make some plays here, Andrew.
Bond, a freshman, that block. That was incredibly impressive. And here's some really good hands. Stolen by Murphy. East Chicago in transition. Pollard pulled it from three, and there's a knockdown three. A 5-point swing after Wallace hit his two free throws. A steal leads to an easy 3-point layup for Pollard, the 6'1 junior transfer. And it's a 9-point lead. Ball being knocked away as diving for it for East Chicago was Reginald Evans-Brown.
Just like that, 3 straight turnovers, I believe? Oh, they get the ball back here, but close to 3
Very
straight
close.
turnovers. Again, this press has really given Bowman some struggle, and I think you again just got to be careful with the basketball here because it's just easy offense for East Chicago.
Going down the lane, and that's good. Talk about a young team. They are fearless going up against this East Chicago team. They've been attacking like a bull in the china shop. Murphy from downtown, and Murphy finds the bottom of the basket.
Yeah, we talk about his mid-range game, but again, he's not afraid to go out beyond the arc, and again, he's a threat anywhere beyond half court.
He had 20 points in last year's game against these Eagles. Ball in the corner. Here comes the 3, left short. They have a chance for an offensive rebound. That is secured by Julian Allen. Allen hitting the ground, ball being picked up, and it's just a fight. And it's going to be a jump ball going for East Chicago. They were going that direction. But active hands all the time by East Chicago.
Sure, definitely. Again, they're forcing a lot of unforced errors here for Bowman. Bowman, I mean, they're getting some great looks. Again, when they get the ball past half court, they're making some tough takes we talked about, but also they're making a couple decent passes to get open shots. They just got to get there first. Again, these turnovers have been a killer for the Eagles.
Pass down low, and getting hit was Evans Brown, but looks like the foul was before the shot, so wave off the basket. East Chicago will get it down low.
Foul number 2, Holden.
Foul was on Raymond Forte. He smacked Reginald Green. Here comes a 3, no good. Rebound cleaned up. Wallace trying to get it down low. Ball kicked out of bounds.
And that's the Swiss Army knife right there, Andrew. He had an offensive rebound earlier off of a missed free throw. Again, he is fun to watch. He might be the Robin in this year's type of team, the Don Murphy's Batman. He's a guy that, again, he's kind of an interior force, but he's also, again, he's listed as a guard/wing. He's a guy that, again, is going to guard a team's top ball handler.
Yamari Wallace.
And he's a guy that can do this.
For 3, and just off the mark. That was one thing Wallace mentioned going to the season. He worked on his jumper a lot. He wanted to be more versatile on offense, as Murphy is going to be charged with the foul. And that looked like a smooth jumper for Wallace. It was just a little bit off the mark, but his free throws looked much better. He was just a 66% free throw shooter a year ago and 18 from three-point land, but looked a lot more confident there.
And elevated roles all throughout this Cardinal squad, but I give a shout-out to Bond so far for the Bowman Eagles. He's made some highlight plays, actually playing in this first high school varsity basketball game here. Again, only a freshman, playing well beyond his years so far. I think he had that block at the other end, right on Pollard. Yes. So some flashes so far. And again, this whole roster, like you said, fearless when it comes to trying to make some plays at the cup.
Yeah, you look at how young this team is. A lot of freshmen. You were thinking they're going to go into this maybe a little timid, wanting to shoot a lot of threes, but instead Coach Boyd says, go at them, get fouled, get to the line, let's get your confidence up. And if they play this physical, Theo Bowman could be a team to watch for going into the December and January months.
Again, the goal is this is the rawest they're going to get. This is, again, a young roster, guys that, again, are probably unfamiliar with each other. They're hoping to only grow throughout the course of this long season. And, again, once it, obviously the cliche as it is, once the playoffs come around, you're going to be playing your best brand of basketball. And these guys, like all other teams, come February, come March, they're just going to grow and get tighter as a group. And that's important in the sport.
Yeah, two teams in the completely opposite direction. One team trying to make a deep run after winning a sectional title with an older group. Theo Bowman trying to develop and have a nice core of players going into the future of the new tenure of Coach Boyd. The zone for East Chicago was working there for a moment, but Yamari Wallace going to be called for a kickball violation. It's 23-15 East Chicago Central with 4:47 to go here in the first half. Bowman inbounding the ball, and here comes an attack. Up and under, it's rolling and does not go down. That was Herson Harris. And a foul going on Watkins.
Yeah, what, Harris only a sophomore, so it's like, again, when you're a sophomore on this team, it seems like you're starting to become a veteran. I mean, all these young pieces they got going on, and it's an exciting future. And obviously, again, I gotta give it a lot of respect to how, again, you mentioned they're fearless, man.
Mike, I'll tell you, I'm not going to lie. I looked at the varsity boys basketball team roster for this Theo Bowman team, and I accidentally thought I was looking at the JV.
Yeah.
With all the juniors, sophomores, and 5 freshmen, that's unheard of at this point.
And it's exciting.
Going down the lane, nice move there by Joseph Watkins as the crowd erupts. Watkins with a little bit of a jump stop, then going up with the right hand, 9-point lead. 3 ball on the way, no good. Offensive rebound, toss up by Allen, but it was left short, and it's a Wallace rebound. He had 5 double-doubles a year ago, one of them against this Eagles team. That ball is ripped away. Bond having an impressive night. Bad pass, an unforced turnover. And that's one thing they're having to clean up going down the stretch is unforced errors. Seeing a couple of errant passes by the Eagles leading to some transition plays for East Chicago. And no communication here. Nice pass. Murphy gathers. Murphy gets fouled. And Dominique Murphy showing how strong he is. He's going for old-fashioned three-point play.
Yeah, he's a tough guy to stop in the paint, but for Bowman there, you can't let Javon Wolford take the ball at half court and dribble into the paint. Nobody picked him up, made it, basically a dump-off pass to Dom Murphy. And again, when it's between you, him and the cup, he's going to probably win that battle, and someone's got to stop ball to disallow that to even, have any pulse of that happening. Again, miscommunication, something we're going to see probably a decent amount from this younger team.
Yeah, you can't text while on the floor, so might as well communicate with your mouths if you're Theo Bowman. And there's an offensive foul. And guess who it is again? Yamari Wallace wore one off the chest earlier. He does it again. And once again, it's that inexperience from Theo Bowman that continues to hurt them.
Yeah, it's you'd think it'd be kind of a fast break play right there. Obviously, get a rebound off of a free throw, trying to get something, a quick bucket maybe. But then that's a second draw on charge from Yamari Wallace. That's going to be on the scouting report, probably come in the second half. But try, again, slow down, make a couple passes. That's a great shot there from Dom Murphy. Too easy there, but you just got to, Bowman, obviously. We still got a half to play here, Andrew. We do not need to try and get a quick bucket here. We know they're fearless. But, make a couple entry passes. They've had some great shots if they just slow down, find their shooters.
Timeout being called by East Chicago Central. You got to assume this is a 30-second timeout. But Dominique Murphy, I got to say, the last 2 possessions, he looked mightily impressive. Grabbing that pass that was whipped to him for the Bricklayer Local 4, best hands in the business. Caught that ball while it was being whipped to him in traffic, goes up, gets the and one. And that's right there. Some of the best hands in the business, just like the Bricklayers Local 4, Indiana, Kentucky. Join Bricklayers Local 4 and start building your career today. Visit baclocal4.org to find out more. I'm not sure what play I was more impressed with, the and one or him catching the ball smoothly like butter, turning around and hitting that fadeaway. You compare it to DeMar DeRozan, that was a DeMar DeRozan type play.
I'm telling you, man, it's he's talented. He's fun to watch. Definitely one of the top players in the area, and obviously he's revered quite so at the next level, and also, again, with his peers, with everybody kind of the higher-ups here, the IBCA, all-state selection. Obviously, a 1,300-point score, I believe he's at right now. That's only going to increase for his senior season. It's fun to watch him grow. We saw him a lot last year, and, of course, his play in these past few seasons. But it's a lot different when you're kind of that guy now. Obviously, we knew he was super talented, but there's kind of a different mental side of things in all sports when you're at the senior level. You're the guy that they're going to turn to. Yeah, you might have a senior leader when you're a junior, that somebody, again, they're the captain, they're that guy to kind of lean on. But now, again, alongside his productivity, now he's got to be, the leadership status is heightened for all these seniors across the region.
Well, Murphy's going to get a break. Let's see what East Chicago turns to here without their leading scorer from the past couple of seasons. The zone being implemented by the Eagles. They started off with this. They're going to live and die by it. Damari Wallace sending it back to the top. Bell taking his time. And here comes a deep three. And, the bank not open on a Saturday night. Apparently, it looked like it was going to go down, but it spit itself back out. And that is a bad pass. Here comes Wallace down the lane. Oh, my goodness. Bond and Wallace were both soaring through the air, and the referee calls a foul, and Theo Bowman's not happy about it.
Oh, my goodness, Andrew. Wow. I mean, that all happened in a flash. I don't know.
Is it the shoes? It might be the shoes.
Who knows, man? Something in the air in this brisk winter weather, but, I mean, what a play from both sides. Call it as you will. Obviously, it's why we're up here and not down there. But, again, East Chicago forcing those kind of quick transitions, those sudden changes. Could have been a highlight play there, nonetheless, on either side. But East Chicago ends up at the line. Wallace misses that first one, trying to break this in half.
Well, Socrates once said, Mike, ball does not lie. I bet a lot of Eagles players were saying that off the bench and out on the hardwood after Wallace missed his first free throw. He made his first two, and he's going to miss these two. And Wallace going for the rebound. It's pulled down by Theo Bowman. But here, there's no need to rush. Wallace is going to dive for the ball and send it back out. And East Chicago Central is going to set up their offense. Wofford, three, good! He made one earlier, and that one was nothing but net. And what a lead for East Chicago. They're up 32-16, and there's a foul on the Cardinals. Hear the groans of the Cardinal faithful here. Coach Maruri not happy. He's pacing up and down the sideline.
Wofford's been kind of a spark plug, though. Hit that big three there. Has made another one tonight. That second unit when kind of your leading scorers are on the bench. Someone's got to step up big, and now obviously you see him in the paint fighting.
Yeah, Wofford trying to get that rebound. He's a junior, had no varsity stats from a season ago. Three from Pollard. No. Same team there, and they knocked the ball away from each other. And there's a steal. Wofford's all over the place. Get it down to Bell. Bell with the right hand. And the East Chicago Central Cardinals keep flying to the rim. 34-16 with 2 minutes to go. It's been a tough second quarter for the Eagles. And they're going to call a block. Yeah, I would say that was a block. Wallace is not going to win an Emmy for that acting job, but that's going to send the Eagles to the line.
Appreciate him trying. He's had some success with that so far. That was obviously maybe less of a collision than what we've seen from his first two. Again, East Chicago, they're just getting out and running, man. You said they're soaring to the rim, and it's kind of rinse and repeat here. That defense that kind of you pick up kind of three-quarters court, no one's really there to help the Bowman ball handlers. And again, it's just they're forcing them into telegraph passes. And again, these East Chicago defenders are way too talented and way too twitchy to kind of throw some lollipop passes when you're trying to get out of a double team.
Split the pair by Harris. Murphy back into the game for East Chicago Central. And here's a three from Wofford, trying to make it three. He won't. Rebound, and the ball is slapped away. Everyone's diving for it. They might leave some dents in the hardwood tonight. In the first game of the year, it's going to turn to a jump ball and an eagle ball.
I appreciate the hustle tonight, man. There's a lot a first to the floor mentality. Both these squads obviously have it. Both coaches, I could only imagine, just push that culture with their guys, and we're seeing it here tonight in game one.
Yeah, you know there's some old-style type basketball fans watching this game. Bad pass, and that's going to lead to an easy Pollard who cleans up the mess. 36-17, a 19-point lead. But back to that thought, there's going to be a lot of old-fashioned type fans watching this game that are seeing all these bodies dive on the floor and say, heck yeah, that's what we need. And that's what's going to separate the good teams from the great teams.
Definitely. Again, with the East Chicago squad, expectations are high this year. Obviously, we talked about them now moving down to the 3A class and looking at their potential opponents in that section. Well, obviously, we're only in game one. But there's a lot of expectations for the squad that made it to the regional round in the 4A class last year.
There's a steal. And East Chicago Central committing a lot of turnovers as they lost it there. Here comes the layup that rolls out, trying to clean it up. No, ball being tipped around, brought down. It's loose again, and there's a steal. Pollard pokes it away. Pollard gets the ball going down the lane. Euro step, quick pass. Wofford with the left hand. No. There's no slowing these two teams down.
No, sir. It's I can only imagine kind of the turnover numbers. I'm sure some coaches may not want to look, specifically on the Bowman side.
We're talking about turnover.
Get another one here.
Pollard down the lane. No, and Murphy is going to add to his already incredible career with one of the easiest baskets he's going to find. And Coach Boyd has seen enough. He wants to talk to his team with 31.5 seconds to go. We will take a quick break here on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Some see a wrestling match. We see a 6-minute lesson in grit. Some see a coach sending a runner home. We see a mentor guiding a student athlete into the future. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
We are back, and you're watching the East Chicago Central Cardinals break their huddle as they're leading 38-17 with 31.5 seconds to go in the first half. Andrew Mild with the sports director himself, Mike DeWan, on this chilly Saturday night. As Theo Bowman, they came out strong. They were attacking the rim and were getting some buckets, but lately they've been completing more passes to the Cardinals defenders than to themselves. A lot of turnovers, and you can tell that the inexperience of the Eagles has been hurting them at time to time. But also on top of that, if you're Coach Marui, you start off sluggish a bit on defense, sure, but you've cleaned it up, and your team has looked incredible in the second quarter.
Yeah, quick hands all around. I think right now for Bowman, with under 30 seconds to go, we need a good shot. We need a shot off at least. We need to try and break this press here, get a shot, get some momentum. But right now, those quick hands once again from East Chicago.
They can't even get past half court right now. Pollard, active hands. He had averaged about 2 steals a season ago with Thea Bowman Academy, and he had a freebie there, knocked it down. Ball being fought for between these two teams, and you can tell that the Cardinals are starting to agitate the Eagles a little bit. A little bit of extracurricular activities in game one of this 2024-2025 season.
I think this is just all East Chicago culture here. When you got a young coach and Coach Marui, a fiery coach, an energetic coach that, again, wants his players to play all 94 feet of the floor. And it's, again, you cannot take your guard off if you are a ball handler against East Chicago defense. It has been very impressive so far. Yeah, it's been a little bit of carelessness from the Eagles, but East Chicago's defense has been very, very tough.
The first half is going to end with a little bit of a sloppy play there by both teams, but the East Chicago Central Cardinals dominate the second quarter, and they're going to head to the locker room up by 21 on the Theo Bowman Academy Eagles. We'll be back after a break here on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
When life keeps you busy and you can't get to the store, shop online with Strachan Van Til To Go. Our to-go service is easy to use. Register using your rewards account information, fill your virtual cart, and choose delivery or pickup. Once your order is in, our own Strachan Van Til team preps your order with care. With our to-go service, you can earn reward points and save time and money with our online coupons and weekly ad prices. Life made simple, shopping made easy. For more information or to sign up, visit shop.strachanvantil.com.
Hi, I'm Crowd Company's Lantern Man. For years, I've helped your family and friends save on their car insurance. And now I've returned to rescue you from high prices. Whether you have a perfect driving record or a not-so-perfect record. Follow me to the Crowd Agency for immediate and affordable coverage. I'm your insurance superhero. Crowd Company's insurance professionals. Highland, Merrillville, and Michigan City.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
Some see a wrestling match. We see a 6-minute lesson in grit. Some see a coach sending a runner home. We see a mentor guiding a student athlete into the future. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
You're watching Game Night in the Region on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town. Andrew Mild with Mike Dewan, and the East Chicago Central Cardinals are leading 38-17. And Mike, how did East Chicago do it? Coach Murray had to use one timeout, and after that, they're a completely different team. What do you think he said to his team after that timeout?
I don't know if I want to know. I don't know if we could say it on the air, but whatever it was, it worked. They, again, early parts of the first quarter, it was about a 6-4, 5-4 basketball game in favor of Bowman. And since then, East Chicago has opened up a can of worms on this team, again, behind a full court press. Just a group of just 5 individuals, whoever it was out there, playing in sync, again, in their defense, just setting up their offense. A lot of points in the paint. They barely have gotten into their half-court sets, which I'm interested to see in the second. Again, obviously, there's still a lot of game to be played here, Andrew, but you want to try and grow. Again, there's going to be games where you're not going to be able to force as many turnovers. And I think for East Chicago, you might want to maybe dial up the pressure, maybe try and work on that half-court offense, because we haven't seen it much. East Chicago is forcing this young Bowman team into some errant passes, some trouble handling the basketball, and just quick hands. And it's definitely proven so far in Game 1 that the East Chicago defense could really speed you up. Obviously, we still got a half to play, but I think right now the tempo is all in favor of the Cardinals. And again, whatever was said during that first timeout, it worked, Andrew. Again, maybe some expletives in there, who knows? But whatever it was, he got the point across, and East Chicago rolling right now here.
Well, one thing we talked about with Coach Maruri is he wants his defense to lead to early and quick offense. Get it down the floor, take a three if you have to if it's open. And they went out. And another thing that has been different about college basketball that's trickled down to high school basketball is transferring. And for Jameer Pollard, who was at Theo Bowman a season ago, has transferred over here to East Chicago Central. And he was really the name we kept saying on defense. He has active hands. He had a lot of steals. But not only that, he nailed a couple of threes.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of guys here for East Chicago that are showing some production here in Game 1. Yes, there's the Dom Murphys, there's Yamari Wallace's, which you mentioned again, obviously landing a transfer like Pollard. Keontae Bell is expected to have an elevated role that we talked about in the broadcast. He's made some plays. There's a lot of guys on this EC team. Again, they lose some talent from last year, but they're still expected to be a very solid program. They're ranked 18th in the overall coaches poll for a reason. It's this team is expected to do some things come March and February. And they're showing it here tonight. Obviously, it's Game 1. There's a lot of jitters, especially with an experienced team like this compared to an inexperienced team like Bowman. But nonetheless, they're showing all the tools that these coaches obviously see with this coaches poll coming out, and obviously with these players, again, just stepping up alongside those already proven players for the Cardinals. A lot to look forward to come this year for EC.
Yeah, a term that we hear a lot when talking about a young team like a Theo Bowman, as we mentioned, 5 freshmen on the varsity roster. Growing pains is a word you hear a lot. And we saw that firsthand in the second quarter going up an active team like East Chicago Central defensively. But I will say one thing, Bond had himself a very impressive first half. He was everywhere on defense. He had some buckets for the Eagles, but he needs a couple of his teammates to step up if they want to be able to get back into this game.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you're down by 21 points. It's you're on the outside looking in, and maybe if the result doesn't go your way for Bowman, you have to, I think for Coach Boyd and his squad, you have to at least see some sort of growth. That first half, that second quarter in specifically, was very, very sloppy, to put it lightly. I think you and I can agree on that, Andrew. I think for Bowman's squad, you have to protect the basketball, as simple as that sounds, against a sweltering East Chicago defense. But again, you have to have these. You can't have any rush shots. Obviously, you want to try and get some points in bunches. But this is growing pains, right? We're going to experience this. It was the first half of what is a long season. And again, a lot of firsts here with this Bowman roster. A lot of freshmen on the roster. So some first varsity minutes probably for some of these guys. And, of course, for John Boyd, his first season on the sidelines here for Bowman Academy. So a lot of learning curves that we're going to have to experience throughout the course of this long season. But I think right now we want to see an improvement here in the second half from this Bowman squad that, again, it was sloppy. It was sloppy, and it's going to happen. You have a young roster, coach that's still trying to probably figure out his roster, and it's going to take some time. But it's a long season here, Andrew, and again, we're just hoping for some of that growth from this Eagles squad coming in here in the second half.
The road in Indianapolis starts here in the home opener for the East Chicago Central Cardinals as you're watching Game Night in the Region on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
When life keeps you busy and you can't get to the store, shop online with Strachan Van Til To Go. Our to-go service is easy to use. Register using your rewards account information, fill your virtual cart, and choose delivery or pickup. Once your order is in, our own Strachan Van Til team preps your order with care. With our to-go service, you can earn reward points and save time and money with our online coupons and weekly ad prices. Life made simple, shopping made easy. For more information or to sign up, visit shop.strachanvantil.com.
Hi, I'm Crowd Company's Lantern Man. For years, I've helped your family and friends save on their car insurance. And now I've returned to rescue you from high prices. Whether you have a perfect driving record or a not-so-perfect record. Follow me to the Crowd Agency for immediate and affordable coverage. I'm your insurance superhero. Crowd Company's insurance professionals. Highland, Merrillville, and Michigan City.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
Some see a wrestling match. We see a 6-minute lesson in grit. Some see a coach sending a runner home. We see a mentor guiding a student athlete into the future. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
We are back live for the second half, and don't forget to visit regionsports.com, Facebook/Region Sports Nation, and Instagram for this week's Powering Indiana Peak Performers presented by NECA IBEW, Powering Indiana of Lake County. Powering Indiana, the region's most trusted electricians. Andrew Mild with Mike DeWan, but not only basketball season started, and also seen some content coming out for wrestling season.
Uh-oh. Just like that, huh, man? It flies by, but it's a fun time here. Yes, we're some football guys, of course, as a lot of people probably are here and in this country. But again, basketball in this state of Indiana and wrestling, of course. I mean, it was my first wrestling season last year, and seeing how big that sport is, it's fun to watch, man. They do a great job, and it's a fun time, as it always is here in high school athletics.
Eagles will start with the ball. You always know it's that time of the year when you walk outside and the ground is crunching beneath you and those white snowflakes are flying all over the place. As the ball was flying all over the place in the first half, and then an almost near turnover by East Chicago Central, but they were bailed out as it was rolling out of bounds. And Bond, as we mentioned in the halftime show, had a very impressive first half. He was all over the place for this Eagles team, tried to save it, but couldn't do it as the ball hit that red paint and a travel called on Bell. Bell shocked by that, and I know Coach Marui not going to be happy with that sort of turnover.
East Chicago still going to continue that pressure, going to try and speed up and I want to see how Bowman responds here.
They talk about putting the freshman through the fire, implement the press, and they've shown the 2-3 zone a few times. Not seeing it here. This is man-to-man as Murphy picks up Bond. 23 versus 23. Mid-range jumper. A bit of a push shot, and it's no good. Pulled down by Wallace.
Again, East Chicago here. You do not, again, I want to try and see a little bit more half-court offense here. And I see now we're not going to try and speed up possessions here. We're going to try and get into our sets. Try and see, because not every game is going to be like that second quarter where they force turnovers on turnovers. They can get out and run.
Well, this is also your time to try out plays as they get Murphy open, and Murphy gets it to rattle home, and it's a 23-point lead for the Cardinals, their largest lead of the game.
And now EC might kind of dial back the pressure a little bit here. get a chance to have Bowman as well. Kind of, again, these are all learning experiences. Yes, this game, it's not conference. This is, again, a game in the last day of November. As much as you want to win it, you also want to learn and get yourself ready for the games that matter maybe a little bit more.
Well, you mentioned it. It's the first game of the year for both sides, just trying to figure themselves out as there's a circus shot tossed up, no good, and it's going to roll out of bounds going towards the other side for the Cardinals. But you play each other so much, getting prepared for this moment to play your first game of the year, kind of get sick of playing one another. But for the coaches, this is the time to figure out what plays work and how players are going to do in stressful situations like this. Big crowd, different environment. The gym's a little bit louder than when you're in practice. But for the Cardinals, when they're up by 23, this is where you find out. Shot up, shot good. Pollard gets hit. And Pollard, what an impressive debut. Wearing a different type of red. He's wearing the Cardinal red now, trading in that Eagle maroon.
An impressive start from the young man. Again, only a junior, so he played very, very well for this Eagle squad last year. Obviously, a very productive piece, and obviously kind of makes a switch going into the season. But he's going to be a nice piece for East Chicago to kind of wind down the year. And then, of course, he's only a junior.
Missed the free throw. It's put back up by Murphy, and Dominique Murphy. We don't have any stats, but you got to think he's flirting with some sort of double-double. And Wallace, he's pulled down a good amount of rebounds himself. He brought in the Kleenex in this first game.
Yeah, he might be following suit.
Wofford spinning into the lane. It gets ripped away. 3-on-2. Good pass. A wild shot, and it has too much on it. And a travel. They're going to get it on Bell, who's already called for a travel earlier. And that time took too many steps. I think he got a little too excited, Mike. Looked up and saw two white jerseys with no maroon jersey between them and the basket.
Right. Now East Chicago's going to. All right, we're back to it here.
East Chicago ranked 5th.
And again, some fearless takes from Bowman. We've seen that a lot here today, to say the absolute least.
The Prep Hoops has ranked East Chicago Central 5th. In the entire state. They believe in East Chicago Central, and when they're up 44-17, it's hard to say that this team is not up for the task of bringing home that first regional championship since 2006-2007, which was 17 years ago. It's hard to believe.
Good company to be in. Yeah, moving down to the 3A. That's sectional now. Highland West Side is going to put together a very good program this year. We're excited to see Calumet, Griffith, and Bishop Knoll, who's always a tough opponent as well. But again, moving down a class, it's nice when you win a regional title the year before, or compete in a regional, the year before. Bright future.
Skip past the Wofford in the corner, and he had a little long there and won't make Theo Bowman pay for the open three. But here's a steal, and the layup is good. And every time Pollard knocks down a shot, he claps his hands and celebrates. You can tell that this game was personal for him to go up against his former program. And a turnover by the Eagles.
He gets right back in his defensive stance. He's ready to go. It fires himself up, and kind of those big buckets, they get you ready on defense. They give you a little bit of a jolt of energy and get you ready on the defensive side. Pollard, we talked about his effectiveness as an Eagle last year as a sophomore, 10.1 points per game, 1.9 steals per game, 2 boards a game, 2 assists per game. So obviously has performed at a high level already. Again, his role elevates here at maybe a bigger stage.
Good pass down low, good fake, shot good. 2 points for the Eagles. But Pollard, he was second in scoring for Theo Bowman a year ago, behind only Nicholas Black. 2 points for Wofford. But that was one thing that was certainly interesting looking at Theo Bowman. There's always that one stat they always show with college basketball is returning production. And for Theo Bowman, it's a flat 0. There's not really a whole lot of returning production from a year ago, and Coach Boyd's got to find that next superstar. And so far it's been Bond, but it's only game 1, and there's plenty of games to go. And we'll see these players grow as the season goes along.
Yeah, it's all you could do. It's a long season, and again, as cliche as it is, it's true. You a lot of these guys, again, jitters might still be lingering. I mean, first minute at the varsity level is not easy in any sport, especially how young some of these players are. 14, 15 years old. I mean, it's crazy, man. And you got to show a lot of poise here. And obviously this is a great early season test for this Bowman squad, but East Chicago putting it all together. We're seeing now a little bit more of kind of the half-court offense, and then they're effective in that as well.
Well, Coach Maruri's going to take a full timeout. Looks like he might be pulling his starters a little sooner than he intended, with his team up 50-19. We'll be back after this quick 30-second break.
Some see a volleyball match. We see a student athlete learning how to be poised under pressure. Some see a high school football stadium. We see the one place where the whole community comes together. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
We are back on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town. Andrew Mile joined with Mike DeWan. Coach Maruri taking a timeout, and he's sending back some of his starters in here. And I was interested to see if maybe the bench was going to come out, and some players that really haven't gotten varsity time before might have gotten an opportunity, but maybe he's just waiting these 3 minutes and 15 seconds and allowing his players to rest the rest of the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I'd imagine. It's a situation you'd like to be in as a head coach. Of course, it's a good problem to have. But again, I'm interested to see kind of how they're still kind of putting the pressure on. And that's it's fun to see, but it's I don't know, that they've shown that they've given Bowman some fits so far. I'm interested to see again, maybe if they could slow the game down. I just want to see again, they want to try and maybe work on some sets a little bit. Obviously, this is a time, of course, you don't want to chalk this game up quite 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. It's a learning experience. Hey, get you ready for the future and get you, again, not every game, I keep saying it, but not every game is going to be this where you're having so much success defensively.
Shot between two Cardinals defenders is off the mark, and the Cardinals have the basketball. Pollard coming up the floor, and Chicago getting into their set offense right here.
Still keeping up with that zone, so they're going to dump it into Murphy, see if they can maybe find a cross-court pass or, again, send a Cunner right by him as well. Because Murphy, again, as much as he is a talented scorer, they obviously trust him to, line up maybe at the free throw line, line up on the block, dump it into him, and maybe send some cuts. If he's not going to shoot it, he's going to find the open man because he just draws so many eyes to him as well.
Well, he had Wallace wide open, but Wallace got smacked before he could even attempt a shot, as it was a gorgeous bounce pass from Murphy. Here comes a three ball, and Pollard can't miss. Pointing to his right arm, there's ice in his veins, channeling his inner Trae Young. That's 53-19. There's one thing about Coach Maruri. After he took this job, there was these two words he kept saying. That was Cardinal pride. And there's a lot of pride being shown tonight by the East Chicago Central players and, of course, the fans that have made their way here to East Chicago Central High School for this game in this beautiful gym.
Yeah, I'm quite impressed. You see here from our cameraman, Zach Miller. They've packed the house here, and it's always a great place to catch a basketball game. And Pollard's obviously kind of adopting that culture right away. He kind of understands it so far. Obviously, again, as great as he is as a defender, we've seen that kind of as that spark plug, he also can kind of shoot the rock as well. He shot at 35 of 92 last year, 38% clip behind the arc for the Eagles in 2023-2024 season. And showing it here tonight. It proved on that percentage, I'd like to say, here in Game 1.
The Eagles break the press. Shot was tossed up as it was contested by Murphy. And Allen gets the offensive rebound and a deuce. 53-21 Cardinals in the third quarter with 100 seconds to go. They're setting up their offense one more time with Bell at the top. He's really been serving as the point guard.
So now 5 out here a little bit. They start in 5 out. Now they're going to try and send some flares, get some guys diving to the rim. And then the ball ends up in Murphy's hands, kind of gets him to his spot there, just kind of on the elbow. It's almost game over there because his shot, again, he gets up so high as well. His release point is very tough for those defenders. And, again, that's why I like the DeMar DeRozan comparison, because you rarely see him get blocked. And the same goes for Murphy.
Living and dying in the mid-range, knowing what type of player he is. He is a good three-point shot, but he knows he's going to make a higher percentage of those mid-range shots than the behind the arc. Wallace going to be called for a foul as Allen was down low, went up, and was met by two Amari Wallace arms. And 55.5 seconds left, 55-21, Cardinals over the Eagles on this opening night in the region on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town. Happy that you are joining us wherever you are watching high school basketball. First shot is good. There's one thing that's interesting also, Coach Marui, is that he is so young.
Yeah.
He was only 23 when he took the job. So let's say he's about 24, 25 now. A lot of these players aren't too far away from his age, so I think that puts him at their level.
Sure.
They listen to him. He understands what they're coming from between classes and getting the practice and, of course, the personal lives. But Coach Marui has done a phenomenal job handling such a big job because being the head coach of East Chicago Central's basketball program is a big deal.
Sure, definitely. I mean, you look at the guys that came before him and obviously the success this program has had. We look at all those, again, look at all the banners up here, look at all the jerseys as well, the Indiana, all-state jerseys as well. I mean, there's a lot of history in this gym, and especially on that sideline. And he's, kind of passed with flying colors so far in his first full season as head coach, and obviously through game one here in his first full second season, I should say. It's been impressive. And again, you mentioned he kind of sinks down to their level. And for the players, it's, there's pros and cons kind of to maybe a more veteran coach compared to a younger coach. But, I mean, the players, they kind of relate as well. They might be more open to listening to somebody that, hey, walked in their shoes half a decade ago. And somebody that very much understands his players and just kind of, everything about them, obviously, kind of all facets of life. As you mentioned, again, he was in that position not too long ago, and he kind of sinks down to their level, and it's why they've been so effective here in just this short few years.
Coach Maruri takes a timeout. We'll take a timeout with them as you're watching the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Hi, I'm Crowd Company's Lantern Man. For years, I've helped your family and friends save on their car insurance. And now I've returned to rescue you from high prices. Whether you have a perfect driving record or a not-so-perfect record. Follow me to the Crowd Agency for immediate and affordable coverage. I'm your insurance superhero. Crowd Company's insurance professionals. Highland, Merrillville, and Michigan City.
Don't forget, after tonight's game, we have a couple of awards to hand out, one of them being the Crown Company's Lantern Man Superhero of the Game. Crown Company's the business professionals. The Boilermakers Local 374 Blue Collar Player of the Game, brought to you by Boilermakers Local 374. Earn while you learn with Boilermakers Local 374. And the Proud Union Home Play of the Game. Ball in, three ball up, and Murphy, I don't think he's missed since that first quarter. Every shot he's taken has gone down.
We were talking about it at the break, man. It's he's just fun to watch. It's simple as that. He is efficient. He takes good shots. He knows they are good shots. And when he's on, he's on.
Well, good luck to everyone else that has to go up against Dominique Murphy this year as he is chasing down E'Twan Moore's all-time scoring record in East Chicago Central Cardinal history, as the clock is going to run out here in the third quarter. The Cardinals are leading by 36, so the clock ran throughout the entire dead ball, and that means we head to the fourth and final quarter as you're watching the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Tech Checking Plus from Tech Credit Union offers everything you'd expect from a checking account. Plus, you'll earn one of their best dividend rates for maintaining a higher account balance. Currently, 4.85% annual percentage yield. No need to choose between easy access to funds or earning a better dividend. Tech Checking Plus gives you both. Visit techcu.org, contact any branch, or call 800-276-8324 to learn more. Tech Credit Union is federally insured by the NCUA. Rates may change without notice.
Getting a shot of the All-State player, that was E'Twan Moore. And, there's a little kid on the floor. We don't see that every day. Wonder why we were stopping play, and the referee nearest to us had looked over, and there was a little kid on the floor.
Best seat in the house, man. Up close and personal.
Yeah, he really wants to get out there and help out the Eagles as they're trailing by 36 to start off this fourth quarter. But E'Twan Moore, one of the greatest East Chicago Central Cardinals of all time, one of the greatest Purdue Boilermakers of all time, had a long career in the NBA with stops with the Pelicans, the Bulls. But Dominic Murphy, who's out there right now, number 23, is contesting for his all-time scoring record. And it's not every day you see a player even get close to that record. But it's not even a matter of if it's going to happen. It's a matter of when is it going to happen.
Sure. Yeah, it's a great company to be in. Now, obviously, the rich history, it can't be told here about East Chicago Central without mentioning E'Twan Moore. And Dom Murphy is entering his name, if it hasn't been already, into the history books. And it's truly special, again, to witness this and just see, again, how much he's grown. Because, again, he's still got a senior season ahead of him. Obviously, that's a cool cherry on top to maybe sit alone at the top of what is a rich history of a fantastic program. But there's bigger goals here, and again, he knows that. The coaching staff knows that. Now, hopefully, the rest of the players and this community knows that. They want to add another banner to that collection up there. Again, to go on more about the rich history, they want to do something E'Twan Moore did as well, and that's get down to the state championship level and put a banner up in the rafters.
Murphy entered today 31 points away from 1,400 points in his already illustrious career. Surpassed 1,000 points just as a junior a year ago. And Murphy soaring through the air! Oh my! Dominic Murphy with a two-handed jam. And the crowd liked that one. I know I liked it, Mike.
Yeah, you and me both, man. It's as great as he is a player, and a lot of these players are, he's also, just huge for momentum. He brings so much momentum to this squad. And yes, he has a play like that on offense and defense as well. He can make solid plays, and he's kind of that anchor, especially this year. Being that senior we talked about, there's an elevated role. Yes, we know how solid you are. Again, we saw that your junior, your sophomore seasons. Now you're really that guy. And again, he just brings so much firepower to the squad. And a play like that, we're going to see a lot more of that this winter.
I know Thanksgiving was a few days ago, but some late stuffing, I guess.
A little bit of leftovers, I'd say, Andrew Mild.
Yeah, I love those leftovers after the Thanksgiving dinner.
Plenty of them. Stuffing or stocking stuffer now. We got we got Christmas around the corner before we know it. So.
And for me, that's fine because I'm the person that's always going to say Christmas happens after Thanksgiving. So I may have to listen to some Christmas music on the way home, with tomorrow being the start of December. But tonight's the start of the high school basketball season. Both free throws missed by Bond. And seeing a lot of bench players coming in, just a few starters. Bell, a starter, is out there. Here's a corner three. Knock it down! Reginald Evans Brown played in one game last year against Lake Central, has no stats, and he knocks down a three. And this game has gotten ugly. 65-24 for the red and white here and their home opener. They could do no wrong, and these fans are going to have themselves another fun season of watching their Cardinals as they'll be back home on Tuesday. Here's another three. Oh my goodness, they're bringing the trays.
Impressive.
Easy layup down the floor as East Chicago Central was celebrating, knocking down a couple of threes. Bond with the steal. He goes a spin. Was that John Wall spin? Wow, breaking it out in a 68-26 game. Why not?
I'll tell you what, Bond has played just about every minute of this game, and he's an athlete. He's going to have a bright future. Again, one of those few freshmen trying to make an aspirational play right there at 360 layup. You see that in all-star games maybe, but he's made some plays, and definitely going to look at the game film here, made some questionable plays here and there that a freshman maybe wouldn't make, but a bright future for him moving forward.
I haven't seen a layup like that since John Wall was wearing the Washington Wizards uniform. It's been a long time. You're trying to make it on a Sports Center. Well, that's a spin, not a John Wall spin, but it's effective. Creates some separation, and Bond with 2 points.
Definitely some flashes, man. He's impressed me.
I would say he's been the only bright spot tonight for the Eagles against a very tough Cardinals team. They have a long way to go.
That's for sure.
And for Coach Boyd, I can imagine this isn't how he wanted to start off his new tenure. He had a lot of success bringing home a state championship to Gary Westside.
Mm-hmm.
But not only that, he had some good years with the Michigan City Wolves and started a new era of basketball for the Eagles.
Yeah, but decent amount to reflect on.
Yeah,
I'd say for both sides. Right now, East Chicago, what I like right now, some guys coming in, fulfilling their roles. The three balls coming down, hitting those shots very well. And obviously, Bowman's been in this kind of half-court zone. And obviously what you want to do here to break that, you want to try and find the open man swinging around the perimeter. You got to make shots.
Wofford, good pass. Shot won't go. Rebound up, and no. It's still a battle for it. And the Cardinals, even up by 42 points, are still fighting for the basketball with tooth and nail. That's got to put a smile on Coach Maruri's face as he is cruising to another victory.
Yeah, Lance Jackson, big number 45 down there, is working. He's working. Obviously, the game's definitely out of reach, but he's working, and it's the culture. Everybody's got to work until the final whistle.
You ever seen all of the warm-up shirts flying off as a good amount of players coming in for the Cardinals. That was a borderline line change for those hockey fans tuning in. Mid-range shot, and Evans Brown hits off the back rim. Close to 2 minutes left. East Chicago Central will be back at home on Tuesday. We'll have the broadcast here on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town. I'll be joining you as they go up against Gary Lighthouse. Game starting at 7 o'clock. Three is up. It's long. Evans Brown will get the ball down after the missed shot and tickle the twine. It's 72-28. And for the Eagles, their next game is at home against Hammond Central. Layup is off, and you got to wonder if Coach Maruri might just call off the Hounds right here. Pass out. Why not? No.
Caden Smith's entered the game. He's had 2 3-point attempts. I believe Andres Lopez as well, number 35 now in the game for the Cardinals. And, yeah, I think at this point we see Coach Maruri kind of putting both hands up.
A couple of these players got to play in the JV game, now getting some of their first varsity minutes on this Saturday night as some fans are already heading for the exit. Here's the three, a pull-up jumper, and not enough on that one. 68 seconds to go. A bullet pass down, shot. Oh, that's a nice one. Boyd going up, spinning it off the glass, and it goes down as it's 72-30 for the East Chicago Central Cardinals as coach is taking a timeout. And it looks like it's a full timeout. Don't forget, we still have awards to hand out in the post-game show tonight. But, Mike, all in all, this was an entertaining game, I would say. It was really fun to see East Chicago Central come out with some new faces and replacing some seniors that have moved on to bigger and better things and still gelling as a team. Not only that, but also watching the Eagles grow tonight. Of course, This isn't the result, the 72-30 score.
Right.
But these players are getting something that you can't do in practice in the summer and fall months, and that's experience.
Yep, I'm excited to check back in with this Bowman squad come maybe January, come March, February as well. I mean, these later parts of the season. It's a tough early season test for any squad to play East Chicago fresh off of a sectional championship. This is a talented roster, again, ranked in the coaches poll. And we saw all of their talents tonight. The defense was sweltering. Offense made the shots that they got out in transition. And when they got in those few half-court sets, they did some great things as well.
Lopez! Oh, this gym was going to explode if Lopez would have been able to hit that three. But indeed, tonight, East Chicago Central's defense was the focal point, leading to them having an incredible amount of points in this first game of the year. They had a good offense last year, but it may feel a little different. There's a block. Lopez going for it, picked up, and the Eagles are going to go down the lane. Shot was a high arcing one, kisses off the glass, goes down, and that is going to be the game. Coach Maruri waving off the Hounds, and the Cardinals will open up the season with the win here at home. The Eagles still bringing the pressure. Here's a three, and that is perfect. And Coach Maruri doesn't look too happy as Caden Smith, the 5'10 senior guard, was wide open, thought why not, and it was pure. And that is the contest. Cardinals open up with a 1-0 record. The Eagles go to 0-1 on this opening night here in the region. We will step aside for a moment, decide who's going to get the awards tonight, and then wrap it up here from East Chicago Central as the Cardinals send the home fans happy with a 75-32 win.
Four Seasons Mechanical proudly serves Northwest Indiana, providing quality, reasonably priced, reliable service. With a quality and comfort guarantee, the professionals at Four Seasons Mechanical offer a wide range of services in heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Whether it's residential or commercial, Four Seasons Mechanical is there 24/7. To find out more, the website is fourseasonsmechanical.com or give them a call at 219-756-7020. Four Seasons Mechanical, your indoor air quality specialists.
Earn while you learn from the best hands in the business. The Bricklayers Allied Craft Workers for Indiana, Kentucky Apprenticeship. That's right, this is a paid apprenticeship.
I'm getting an education while learning a trade and getting paid for it.
The thing that surprised me the most about this apprenticeship program is the respect I've received after the proper time and training.
Classes start soon, so apply now. There are training centers throughout Indiana and Kentucky. We are the Bricklayers and Allied Craft Workers for Indiana, Kentucky Apprenticeship. The best hands in the business.
Blythe's Team Sports in Valparaiso is a leader in athletics apparel and equipment sales. With in-house production including screen printing, trophies, embroidery, and more, Blythe's can help you to create the perfect look. For more information, visit them online at teamblythes.com. Blythe's Team Sports in Valparaiso, where the athletes shop.
On this chilly Saturday night, the East Chicago Central Cardinals were red hot. They win 75-32. Adrian Mile with Mike DeWan, and we have some awards to hand out before we wrap it up and send you on your way to enjoy the rest of your weekend. The first one, of course, is the Crown Companies Lantern Man Superhero of the Game. Crown Companies, proud to recognize the superheroes on the basketball court. And, Mike, this was an easy one.
Yeah, it's tough not to give it to someone who it's really kind of a superhero for the Cardinals week in, week out, night in, night out, we should say, now that we're in basketball season. I think that's Dominique Murphy. I think we're kind of just chomping at the bit to see kind of the shot chart that kind of derived from this game because myself, Zach Miller, our cameraman, Justin Cole as well, we're like, did he missed a couple shots, but it wasn't many.
A lot of green circles.
A lot of green circles, and from all over the floor. And, again, we could talk about his offensive side of things, but, again, as efficient as he was offensively, he's also that imposing defender that kind of roams the paint as well, so he can kind of play, beyond the perimeter as well defensively for that East Chicago squad. But offensively, he really caught our eye, had a fantastic play we'll talk about later in this segment, but, again, did it from the three-point line, did it from the mid-range, and also made his money at the free throw line and inside the paint. So Dom Murphy, I'd say, got to be our Crowd Company's Lantern Man superhero of the game.
Talking about Dom Murphy, we also have the Proud Union Home Play of the Game presented by the Region Sports Network, and it had to be the Dominique Murphy alley-oop dunk. It's just incredible. There's not too many players around this area that can do that, but Dominique Murphy makes it look all too easy when he rises above the rim and punishes it as he brings it right back down and slams it with two hands.
A stocking stuffer, if you will, as you and I mentioned. Yeah, to have a player like that, as athletic as he is, and obviously to put the ball in the right position. But you kind of have a certain set of plays, or if you get a couple back cuts to him, allow him to kind of dive cut to the rim. And if you could throw a lob, you could throw a kind of a bullet pass to get him to the rim. But at that time, threw it up in the air, one of the more exciting plays here in the sport of basketball, and obviously at the high school level. And again, a 2-for-1 here in Dominic Murphy. Two of the three awards. Will not get the clean sweep. Got to give a shout out to our next guy.
And that will be the Boilermakers Local 374 Blue Collar Player of the Game. Boilermakers Local 374. Learn about apprenticeship program and learn more at local374.org.
Yeah, I think we got to give it a shout-out to Bowman's McLeonard Bond. Only a freshman, obviously, again, being in this case, you have your first taste of varsity minutes, and that's not easy to do. And obviously, the score was tough for the Bowman Academy Eagles, but Bond had some definitely he's shown a lot of his potential here tonight. Yes, he had a couple turnovers. Yes, he had a couple shots that might have been rushed, a couple highlight plays that may not have attempts at highlight plays, what we could maybe call him. I think he's going to grow, but I think we saw a lot of his potential tonight. He had some nice buckets, and again, he played just about the whole game. Obviously, somebody they trust going forward, and not only for the rest of this season, but a couple more seasons. And again, a lot of poise from this freshman so far. A lot to learn for not only him, but the rest of this Bowman squad, and of course for Coach Boyd. But a positive start, I'd say, overall for McLeonard Bond and some of just the future of this Bowman program. There's a lot of growing to expect, and again, to look out for this team kind of come in the later parts of the season. Andrew, we're definitely excited for that.
Well, some thank yous to hand out before we wrap it up here on this Saturday night. Starting off with management, the executive producer Chris Ramirez, operations manager Rich Castillo, coordinating producer and our cameraman tonight, Zach Miller, and sports director Mike Dewan, who was my partner, Justin Cole, who was the producer, the coaches of both teams, Alma Rui and John Boyd, athletic directors Graylin Gordon of ECC and Arthur Haggard of Bowman, and of course to all the viewers on Facebook/Region Sports Nation, YouTube/Region Sports Network, and on IHSAA TV. I've been Andrew Mild. This has been my partner Mike Dewan. We thank you for tuning in to the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
When life keeps you busy and you can't get to the store, shop online with Strachan Van Til To Go. Our to-go service is easy to use. Register using your rewards account information, fill your virtual card, and choose delivery or pickup. Once your order is in, our own Strachan Van Til team preps your order with care. With our to-go service, you can earn reward points and save time and money with our online coupons and weekly ad prices. Life made simple, shopping made easy. For more information or to sign up, visit shop.strachanvantil.com.
Hi, I'm Crowd Company's Lantern Man. For years, I've helped your family and friends save on their car insurance. And now I've returned to rescue you from high prices. Whether you have a perfect driving record or a not-so-perfect record. Follow me to the Crowd Agency for immediate and affordable coverage. I'm your insurance superhero. Crowd Company's insurance professionals. Highland, Merrillville, and Michigan City.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
Some see a wrestling match. We see a 6-minute lesson in grit. Some see a coach sending a runner home. We see a mentor guiding a student athlete into the future. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.